Good afternoon. I am joined by Andy Culpepper, Luthier based out of upstate New York, right? Ithaca?
That's correct. Hi, yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so this is the first time you and I have spent time sort of face to face. We've emailed here and there. You have been working with GSI for more than 10 years, right? Tell me a little bit about how
I
things got
think I
started.
think maybe just about 10 years. I can't remember if it was 2015 or 2016 when I sent
Okay.
in my first guitar, but yeah, right
Okay.
around 10 years.
All right, great. And so, yeah, your guitars have been here, and I've known about you since I started working here, which was back in 2021. And the timing worked out because we just got this guitar from you. The time of this recording, this is 2026. This is a Santos Hernandez model that you sent us, which is just incredibly good. As I just finished gushing about it to you a minute ago. But your kind of lens of guitar making starts with flamenco, right?
Yeah, that's correct. My first guitar, which I have hanging right next to me right now, actually, the first one I ever made was a flamenco guitar, and it was just because I couldn't afford a really nice guitar for myself, so I figured the only option was to try to make one. And I actually, when I was in high school, I had plans under my bed. I had drawings kind of drawn up, and I had these ideas to kind of build a guitar, but I never had the tools or resources or anything like that. So it was kind of just a lucky situation that led me to meeting Richard Cogger, who was a guitar maker in Ithaca, who ended up teaching me.
So yeah, so you've been building guitars then for 20 years, 15 years? How long has it been?
16,
Okay,
going from 17. Yeah.
all right. And you're mostly focusing on Spanish sort of traditional styles, at least that I'm aware of. Is that right?
Yeah,
What,
that's
what, what
correct.
guitars, what kind of guitars do you really enjoy making the most?
I would say if I have to be really honest, flamenco guitars are still the things that I enjoy making most because I play flamenco. I play some classical too, and I love playing classical guitars, but the action is just a little too high for me. So
Mhm.
the flamencos is really where it's at for me.
And I'm going to interrupt you just for the sake. This guitar, the first thing that I thought of when I played it, this is a Santos Hernandez classical model, was the playability was really really good. And I thought
Oh, good.
I wondered if that sort of flamenco angle really comes into focus here because it's a fine line. Santos built plenty of flamenco guitars and
Uh,
classicals, right? There wasn't much of a
right.
distinction then, but I think that really just makes sense with these instruments. The lightness of the build, the
Mm-hmm.
immediacy of the response.
Uh,
So
yeah, the Santos guitars are definitely one of the things I'm most excited about building right now. That's only the second one I built actually. And
wow.
I usually let my customers kind of drive what I build. I kind of go by kind of what's the demand out there and kind of do it that way. So I had a customer who came to me and said, "Have you ever built a Santos copy?" I said, "No, I would love to do that." So he had five or six different plans that he sent me, and I chose the one that I thought kind of looked the most exciting, just bracing pattern wise, and decided to go with that. And the first one I made, I kind of fell in love immediately. My standard classical guitars are a little more in the Hauser kind of Romanios kind of vein, which I love building those too. And I've been refining that style for my whole career, and I still love building those guitars, just a traditional classical, but yeah, the Santos is really exciting to me right now. And I do build a double top
Okay.
with with Nomex core. And that was just again another thing. I had people coming to me, have you ever tried building a double top? This happened with a lot of things like raised fingerboards and things. And now I've had a lot of people asking me to build shorter scales. So I'm going to try
Mhm.
to, I think, get into that, maybe a 635 because I built 640s a few times, but maybe something even a little shorter than that.
One of the things that I think is really useful for our audience is to know what should people expect if they're considering one of your guitars, in terms of your priorities, like what are you
Mhm.
really striving for when you sit down to build an instrument for somebody, whether it's for us or
Yeah.
for a client. Yeah.
Well, it's all the kind of traditional things that you would look for. But I really consider some people call guitar making an art, quote unquote. I consider it really a craft because with an art form like music, you have unlimited expression for what you can do. You can play anything, you can paint anything. But with guitar making, you're building a tool for an artist to use, and you're trying to satisfy that customer and give them exactly what's going to benefit them the most. So that's my approach to it, where it depends a lot on because most of my work is custom orders. It depends a lot on what the person is looking for. If they say they just play in their bedroom, they're not going to be on a concert hall or something. They don't need big volume or whatever. I hear that a lot. So great, I'll make like the best sounding traditional guitar. Don't have to worry about any fancy gimmicks or anything like that. But if I have a kid coming in who's doing the competition circuit and all that kind of thing, like probably going to be looking at a double top, just because that's kind of the expectation that you're going to have more volume and or if you're playing with a chamber music or anything like that, that might be a better fit. Um, but yeah, I would say tone for me is absolutely number one. Like
Mhm.
um, I just love just what I fell in love with, just listening to Segovia recordings, and it's just the soul, the poetry of the Spanish guitar. That's just I never want to lose that. So no matter what I build, if it's a double top or traditional or whatever, I that's an absolute requirement for me to keep that
Mhm.
beautiful tone.
Yeah. Well, Andy, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me, and keep up the good work. We're so happy to have you on our sort of roster here. And yeah, if anybody's looking out there, traditionally made guitars here in the U.S. in New York, Andy Culpepper. Thanks again, man.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Bye.
adios.